Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. Hey, Justin. What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? We already got 3 people here. If you are already here, please like and subscribe. In this update, we're going to be taking a look at the tropics as we have code red. All right, code red. Let me just I'm going to quickly get a water bottle. Yeah, I'm all right. What about you? How are you guys? How are you guys? We have some interesting things to watch out for. Hey, what's up? What is up? How is everybody here today? How are you guys? We're already at 6 likes, you guys. That's awesome. We're already crushing it on this stream. Let me go quickly get a water bottle. And then we're going to be talking about this lovely guy. As we got some crazy news, you guys. Pretty crazy. Hey, that's good. That's good. We already had 7 likes. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. This is big, you guys. This is, I'm just going to say, Invest 91L will be likely to happen tonight. Also, we have a lot of information to go over before I go to work. I've worked around like 4, but we have a lot of stuff to cover in Disturbance 1. Not the only disturbance. This is the big disturbance. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Things are looking interesting. This is looking like a main development region storm that is currently tracking pretty far to the west currently. This is pretty big in this one. How is everybody? How is everybody? What is up? Hey, that's good. I'm glad I'm glad I'm streaming before when you're awake. That's good. Alright, let's just wait a few more minutes. Let me quickly get a water, and then we're gonna go talk about this disturbance. One moment, you guys. Welcome, welcome. I'm back. Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, please subscribe and like. We're going to be taking a look at the tropics, aka Disturbance 1 right now. Currently the only disturbance out there, but very interesting stuff to go over in this one. We're going to be talking in just a second. Alright, so we're going to actually talk a little bit about the tropics now. Alright, one moment. Alright. Alright, so basically what we're going to be taking a look at here is Disturbance 1. So basically, This is the big guy. Oh, and I think they just updated it, you guys. Yeah, they updated it. That's not good. They just updated the National Hurricane Center, and this is not good. We have actually trended this south. This red blob here has now trended more south. And now, if you're doing the cone, you guys, this is the cone. This is pretty major because if this cone continued to move, it would be in parts of Puerto Rico and the Leeward Islands and Western Antilles. That's not good. They just updated it. What is up? All right. Welcome. Yeah, that's a pretty big shift to the south. That's not good. Basically, what the National Hurricane Center is seeing is basically a tropical. This is the latest update as of 2 p.m. A tropical wave was located eastern in tropical Atlantic, southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, and continues to produce showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions remain conducive for gradual development during late this week and the weekend. The system is expected to initially move slowly westward and then gradually accelerate westward to the west-northwest or around 15 miles an hour by next week. So that's very interesting stuff that we're taking a look. We're now at code red, a 70% in the next 7 days and a 30% in the next 48 hours. Right now, I would not be surprised this goes up even further here, you guys, in the Atlantic as of right now. So that's the latest update. They just shifted to the south. That's not good. We have a lot to take a look at. So when we're going to take a quick look at the ocean heat content while we're here. This is the latest ocean heat content in the on September 1st. And if we take a look here, generally we've been on the increase here in the last few days. Since September, this was August, September, we're gradually increasing the water temperatures here in the anomalies in the main development region. We are near record levels that was back in 2023 and 2024 regions. Very interesting information that we'll have to take a look at that. Yeah, I don't want to overreact on this just yet, but it looks like we might be in for another Erin type situation where the models, not good. Not good at all. Basically, the averages on this map is been upwards. We are continuing to climb very high upwards. And I do expect us to get probably around here before the peak of the Atlantic of the main development region / Caribbean here. Is expected to keep going up. So we are above average with ocean heat content in the main development region. This is Caribbean. Generally running right near average. I mean, look at that. Right here. I mean, the averages are just right in here. So we are very close, and any more uptick would easily overcome 2023 and 2024 in the ocean heat content in the Caribbean. So ocean heat content is out of reach here. All right. The Gulf of Mexico, we have seen a pretty quick increase also in the last couple days. And as we get into September, I think this will become more active. If you guys are new, and please like and subscribe. We don't have as many people as we do at night, but we're going to be taking a look. Yeah. This is ocean heat content, everybody. Very interesting stuff. And then we take a look at the Gulf of Mexico, and pretty much, you guys, the Gulf of Mexico is at its peak. All right, this is it. We are right here. We are climatology average with 2024 and 2023 was actually a little lower at this time. But if this keeps going up, we will easily overcome the 2024 Gulf of Mexico ocean heat content if it just goes like that and then gradually coming down like this. All right. So that's very interesting that the Gulf of Mexico is at its highest ever OHC. And very. Yeah, but they are doing the same thing as. Correct. That is correct. So when we take a look at the Gulf of Mexico, let's go Gulf. This is daily sea surface temperatures. Very interesting. So when we take a look at the Gulf of Mexico, this is another very interesting thing. This is the water temperatures, the SST anomalies, historical averages. And basically, we are tied with 2024 here, where we are right at 2024 levels with an average temperature of 30.49 degrees across the entire Gulf of Mexico. So that's very interesting. We are climatology almost a degree Celsius above average from the 1991 to 2020 average. And this is likely going to bottom out here. When we take a look at the Atlantic MDR, we are below average, but we're not as much. This was 2024. This was 2023. We're right now tying with 2010 and stuff with the historical averages, but we're still in an average of 28.65 degrees in the Atlantic average, and that's very conducive. When we take a look at the North Atlantic in general, we're generally going down a bit in the last month or so. We're still above average, but it's starting to go down already. So that's something we'll have to. We're not below average. We are not. We are not below average. I don't know why. If I did say below average, I mean above average. My bad. So when we take a look at the European ensembles here, actually no, we're going to take a look at satellite imagery of this. We're also going to take a look at imageries of Kiko out there that could be impacting Hawaii. So let's go in the Eastern Atlantic here. And basically, what we see going on here is we are definitely beginning to see very interesting stuff going on. This is definitely beginning to develop as our wave axis is generally around 10 degrees north. There's our wave axis. We generally have winds moving like this on the southern side, and then winds wrapping back in here like that. So this is our general wave envelope. We have, it's unusual that 2004, well, Ivan, there has been a hurricane there. This will likely be our next hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season, everybody. This is likely going to be our next. The wave is developing very nicely currently right now. It's not doing a bad job. It's definitely having its rotation there. Right around there, we're having our rotation. So it is good mid-level vorticity. Something to really keep an eye on. When we take a look at the forecast models, and let's take a look at the European ensembles. When we take a look at the ensembles of the European, let's go 200. We're just going straight to 240 hours out. Basically, what do we see here? Is we do have still that Gulf and Caribbean signal. It's very limited. It's not too much. So I'm going to keep a watch out, you guys, in the Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean. But what has my eye and attention is this general area right here. Look at that. The updated. So this is the latest Euro model. And look at that. So this is the latest Euro models. And we do have quite a few in the proximity of the Western Antilles and Leeward Antilles, as the islands are and Puerto Rico. And some of these are into 970s, 960s as a category 1, all the way up to maybe even a category 2, to transitioning into a category 3 hurricane as we get in here. But this is a much different case scenario where we're dealing with this 12Z of yesterday. This is 0Z today. 0Z as the last night. Much farther south. And I wouldn't be surprised the latest ones are even further south, as this is a much more southern track, I think, than Erin. And if this does miss the islands, it will skin the islands, in my opinion. You should not worry. You should be keeping an eye on it. I'm not too worried for you guys. In Florida, okay? Something to keep an eye on. When we take a look at any other ensembles, let's go look at the GDM here. And this is the... Let's go in the 6Z. This was 6Z here of 312. And look at that. I'm not saying anything, but our general looks of thing is in this eye view right here. This is our tropical wave right there. We do have a few into hurricane status and then major hurricane status. I'm not going to rule that out, but I'm not going to hype it up and say, yeah, that's what's going to happen, because it's not. Things are going to change, but in today's recent runs, we've seen a much further south and westward track. And even on this one, I think is a little bit ridiculous. But this is our starting point generally. And we do have some of these ensembles that can take it into the Barbados, into the Caribbean, while we're generally in this track right here. Look at that. So this could go on the southern side of the ensembles and hit the islands and Puerto Rico, and then cause even more trouble down the road. Or this can kind of go in the middle and kind of skin the islands. Or this can do all of that and just go north of the islands and kind of head out to sea like Erin. But it is very interesting that the latest ensembles are very bullish on that southern trend. The GEFS here has a 6Z. Let's take a look at 12Z. This is 12Z. And if we take a look at 12Z and 6Z, look at that, you guys. This was 6Z. This is 12Z. So 12Z has a more of a southern shift. Alright. So this is 12Z. This was 6Z. A lot more out there and a little bit more north. And now we're trending more on the southern side of this cone. So there is a trend. What about the Bahamas? The Bahamas, I'm not going to worry about that. We only look at this as the next 5 or 6 days. We don't look anything up above that because it's inconsistent and it has been proven inconsistent. So we're not going to take a look at that. But when we take a look at the 0Z runs, not the zeros, but the, wow. This was 0Z run of the Euro. Yeah, the Euro is very bullish, whereas it's pretty much going due west right into the islands here, you guys. Look at that. Look how much more further south this is. This will bring tropical storm impacts into the Leeward and Western Antilles and Puerto Rico. If this does happen and keeps trending south, and we do have an alarm, I will make my own tropical storm warnings and watches, and even hurricane watches and warnings for the Barbados, or just north of the Barbados and the islands there, especially in the Bahamas, if I do see that. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, you guys, but the trend as of right now is more to the south and westward. Something to keep an eye out on. All right. Not good stuff, though. Not good stuff coming out of the ensembles. When we take a look at the latest European, I want to take a look at the latest. This is the latest European. Instead of looking at the GFS, we're going to take a look at the latest Euro and kind of just guide this in. So, in the next 48 hours, you guys, what's going on here? We have high pressure right here. This is our weakness in the ridge. This is our flow right here. And then this is our flow right there. Look at that. This is the general flow of the European right here. This is the next 48 hours. We do see our wave become more conducive and stuff. If you guys are new, please like and subscribe. We are trying to get up to 1,000 subs, but our goal for today is 700 subscribers, even if that's tonight. But this is the latest year. We're taking a look at the latest afternoon year out here on the model. When we take a look at the next 72 hours here, we do see the changes right here. Right there, look at that. Latest, this is the next 72 hours, the latest Euro model. Right here, there's our, we're not going to worry too much of the cold front in the U.S. and the Northeast. We're kind of more focused on the tropics. But generally, this is our tropical wave beginning to really develop in the next 3 days of tropical. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the next 4 days, everybody. And we do see our tropical storm very small out there. But it is a tropical storm, most likely in the next 4 days. This is our guidance on where it moves. And then we can see our high pressure right here. And another one right there. And then this is our weakness right here in the ridge. Keeping it suppressed to the south and west. Okay? That's something that we have to keep an eye on for. Just subscribe, bro. Thank you. Very greatly appreciate that, man. Marman JJ. Thank you. We are now just 13 away from being at 700 subs. That's very greatly appreciative of you. We're going live on this tonight. That's another thing. So when we take a look at the next 5 days, there's our storm here. This is our high pressure. Still trying to be somewhat strong. But this is our push with the model. And then this is our weakness in the cold front / ridge there, you guys. So when we take a look at the next 6 days here, this gradually continues to develop, but it's moving more west. Look at that, you guys. We are not getting too far away. And then we do have our next tropical wave right here also. Something to keep an eye on. But this is a different look than yesterday. We still got that bulging high. It's starting to retreat here. Not as much as over there. What's going to happen is this is going to start moving north and then probably move out like that, in my opinion, because we still got a high pressure to the north, but it is starting to find that weakness in the ridge. So when we take a look at the next 7 days, we have a very strong tropical storm now just to the west of the islands here. I mean, east. Just to the east of the islands right here. Look at that. The Euro 12Z run is much further south. This is concerning, you guys. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. Looks to me as we have a high pressure here and a high pressure here. Where's our weakness is right in here. Look at that. This is our weakness in the ridge. We're still with that flow like that. And then generally, that's our flow like that. So, my question is, what's going to happen here? So, as we go in the next 8 days, this does become a hurricane and does start to bring impacts according to the Euro in the Leeward Islands here. We will be live on this every single day and every single night. We're going to be live on this storm, everybody. So if you guys are new, please like and subscribe, as we are going to be taking a look at, eventually will be potentially a Hurricane Gabrielle, as it could be the next hurricane, even major hurricane, even a potential impact storm. Much more impacts than Erin did. When we take a look at the next 210 hours out, this is generally scraping the coast here as a Category 1 hurricane, almost into Category 2. This has been generally moving in this direction, not too far to the north. This is a much different environment than Erin at this point, where we are in trouble if this does keep moving west and south. Not good. When we take a look at the next 10 days, you guys, we stay with Hurricane Gabrielle just to the north of the islands here. Just reminds me of Erin. There's our next cold front right there. Look at that. So what's going to happen is we got a high right here. We got a high right here. And we got a ridge probably moving like this. How strong is that high pressure to the east of it will determine of how far west it will go. On the latest Euro, we are more pushed to the United States. When we take a look at the next 300 hours out, or 270, let's now go a little bit here. This does look like it does become a major hurricane, but look at that. We're on a much more of an Erin path here on this latest Euro. And then further out, you guys, look at that. The Euro looks like this ain't the only storm now. We're in it. Looks like to me we have another tropical storm that comes off Africa, you guys. And it looks like the Gulf of Mexico will try and get active again. So you guys see that? What's going on here? We got another tropical wave here. We got a major hurricane hitting Bermuda on the latest Euro. And then now we got another storm. Like I said. Look at that, you guys. Looks like September is going to be a little busy, because then we get our next named storm in the main development region. Question is, does the high pressure build back? That's probably what's going to happen. But now the latest Euro in the next 360 hours out in the second half has a second main development region storm, even a third wave. So it looks like we are getting a little active now in the Atlantic, you guys. Very concerning that the latest Euro now shows 2 storms. All right. 2 storms, everybody. This is getting major. I'm not liking the feeling of this, you guys. If you guys have been watching me, I've been talking about as the European and the models are going to be catching up on this. Thank you, guys. We're at 688 subs. We already gained 2 this stream. Let's get up to 690 subs before we end the stream here tonight. In today. We're also going to be streaming tonight, everybody, on Gabrielle. And potentially our next name storm. Now in the longer range here. Looks like it comes off Africa and generally moves west-northwest. And there it is, coming off Africa by the end of the model run. That's a little more concerning as, yep, not just one. Now we're looking at 2 main development region systems that looks to be concerning. So when we take a look at the forecast models on the GFS and stuff, this is very significant. This is very significant. Let's go into the icon. We're just going to take a look at the icon here. Generally, I don't like looking at the icon for strength, but generally we do see it generally to develop and even move a little bit more south. For some reason, the icon likes the development of our next wave too. I'm not buying that right now, but it definitely, icon shows another name storm. And at this point, this looks like to me as a strong tropical storm, not a hurricane on the latest Euro 12Z. But the pattern is there for a compact press system. You can tell there's that cold front right there. Much more further back today than yesterday. Yesterday, we were talking about a weakness in the ridge over here. Now it looks like near the United States. So with today's runs, yeah, the European ensembles are probably going to push into the islands here today on this latest talk about. Canadian has this generally moving west or westward and then going north and out to sea. But look at that, you guys. A few other tropical waves behind it. Look at that. Yes, this is very interesting. We're looking at much more of a southern push here on the latest models. By the way, everybody, I would like to promote the Discord link here. If you guys are new to the channel, we do have a Discord that I would like to share with you guys here. We're going to copy the link. This is the Discord link for that. And then also for Pat's Path Predictors Discord, I would like you guys to join that here too. Look at that. 2 Discords. Something to keep an eye on that. If you are new, please like and subscribe. Trying to get to 700 subs. We're already at 15 likes. Let's get up to 20 likes, everybody. No thanks. Let's go into the European APHIS. That's going to be very interesting. European APHIS 12Z doesn't have anything with the development of this one. But look at that, you guys. As we get to 360 hours out, we're talking about 2 other main development region storms. Look at that. This is 2, and this is 1. This is 3. All right. This is the APHIS model on that. So it looks like the Atlantic is beginning to wake up. When we take a look at the GFS, very interesting stuff. Does get into a tropical storm. Generally into a strong hurricane. Potentially keeps it moving more south on the GFS. And look at that. We're much more south than previous model runs with this. So, and then generally this does what the Euro does. Go north into a major hurricane and hits Bermuda. And then after that, what else happens here as we got once again, you guys, look at that. This is around September 18th. We got a tropical wave here. We also got a tropical wave here. And then we have something in the Gulf of Mexico in the Bay of Campeche. That's very interesting right there. That the models are showing more and more development today than ever. It's screaming at us with tropical developments getting more and more likely as we get closer to the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. Okay? Very interesting stuff. Something to keep a look at. I'm not too locked in on everything, but the latest trends are not too good on this storm. If anyone's new, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be ending this stream, everybody. I hope you guys liked and enjoyed. We pretty much took a look at the models and data. I wasn't planning on being here for too long because we are going to be live tonight, probably around 9 to 9:30, even 10 o'clock. So stay tuned, everybody, to tonight's live stream here. Very interesting stuff that we have to keep taking a look at that. Peace out, everybody. Good night.